through shadows, miles from home. Dreams in my pocket, stealing my soul. They tried to break me, they drew their lines, but my voice still rises through their lies. Every scar's a story, every wound's a flame, and I still stand. You'll know my name. When the call will come, I will rise, I will stand. With my heart in the fire, my hope in my hand. You can't silence me, I was born to be free. Through the storm, through the fight, I'll ride my destiny. They said wait your turn, they turned away, but my faith grows louder every day. You can shut your doors, you can hide your eyes, but the dream in me never dies. Every border I cross, every mountain I climb, I carry my people, I carry my time. When the call will come, I will rise, I will stand. With my heart in the fire, my hope in my hand. You can't silence me, I was born to be free. Through the storm, through the fight, I'll ride my destiny. We are the dreamers, we are the brave. The world will remember the paths we paved. You can paint us in shadows, but light will show. We are the roots that always grow. When the call will come, we will rise as one. Every voice, every color beneath the sun. You can't silence truth, you can't bury the free. We are the future, you can't silence me.
Haha, I had to turn the light on. Not quite enough time to skedaddle back with this hip from that spot to there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Breaking news from Washington, D.C. tonight. I see Professor G is in the chat. Let me get my initial analysis, and if he's available, I'll invite him to come on and discuss this with me. So let's just get to it. The breaking news of Washington, D.C. is that back in August, the New York Times reported that the Trump administration was going to lower Joe Biden's 2024 fiscal year cap of 125,000 refugees to just 45,000, and said that white Afrikaners would get 40,000 of those slots. At the time, I said that somebody is violating the law and sharing classified information. They should be punished and hunted down. That's inappropriate. And why? Because it caused panic and also caused all kinds of problems and spread racial discord. The truth has come out now. The Washington Post, once again, getting documents they have no right to have access to. Someone leaking documents in this corrupt administration. The bureaucracy corrupt, I'm talking about, not the administration. The corrupt bureaucracy in Washington, D.C. leaked this information, and it proves to be accurate. They saw the document I'm going to share with you today. This published on the Federal Register today, the 30th of October. Actually, the 31st, I suppose, we published, if I'm not mistaken. This thing is now published, a presidential determination for the number of refugees coming into the U.S. in fiscal year 26, which begins a month ago on October 1st. Now, before we go any further, let me just say this to the following. There are going to be a lot of people panicking. Oh my God, nobody can come in. Oh, you know who's going to panic the most? The refugee processing industry, the industry that's grown up to milk money out of the taxpayer to bring people into this country. All these people like the racist Episcopal Church and all these other people like Church World Services and all these other groups that provide services, they're probably going to scream the loudest. We've seen the nonsense from Church World Service. Well, despite the wonderful job that RSC is doing for them as a subsidiary, they have repeatedly published things on their website to elicit fear and racial hatred towards South Africans as well. So let's be very clear about this. In 8 months, March 10th, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and excuse me, in 8 months. In 8 months, 400 South Africans have come to the United States. In 8 months. Now we're talking about as many as 7,000 additional South Africans coming to the United States over this fiscal year, which has 11 months left in it. So if you break that down, let's just say start today, which they're not going to start today. So 11 months left in the fiscal year and 7,000 people. 7,000 divided by 11 months equals 636 South Africans. It says mostly Afrikaners. 636 South Africans arriving in America each day. Is that right? No, each month. Each month over the next year. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Did I do that wrong? Let me do that again. 7,000. Yeah, that's each month. Yeah, divided by 11 months is 636 South Africans per month. Divided by 30 days per month gets you to 21 South Africans per day coming to America over the next 11 months. But it's not going to start in the next day. It's going to start when this budget gets restarted, and then 2 weeks after that, roughly. So we're probably talking about 10 months, and that means that on average, we're going to see how many South Africans? So 7,000 divided by 10 months is going to be 700 per month. There you go. 700 per month we're going to see. So 700 per month, so look, for people who are going to panic, first off, I'd say that the slow pace of this that many people claim, this is much faster pace. Now, if anybody has any right to be upset, it would be the refugees who were already previously approved to come here from Somalia, the DRC, Myanmar, China, wherever they're at. They don't look like they're getting a chance to come here. That's the people who should be upset, not South Africans. South Africans should be happy to some degree, or at least relieved that there is actually information out there that is actually now telling us, so the next 10 months, we should see 700 per month or a total of 23 per day. Is that right? Yeah. All right, there you go, folks. So there you go. I'm always inviting when you're walking out. Well, I don't know your schedule, Professor G. I don't know your schedule. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's all over the news here in the United States. It's breaking all over. In the last 3 hours, this publication came out, a presidential directive, which is what Mariska, who was one of my viewers, said was necessary to go forward. But I said that's not correct because it doesn't matter if this is published. There's still no money, so nobody's moving. Now, if they start moving, I'll be happy to be proved wrong on this one. So it was twofold. So we needed both things. So let's get to that very quickly here. So this is the letter. I'm going to read it to you from the White House. It's published on the 30th of September, and that's why the Washington Post had access to it, because they're in tight with criminals in the government who violate federal law and disclose information that's not available to the public. So Presidential Determination 25-13, 30 September 2025, memorandum for the Secretary of State, Secretary of Homeland Security, and Secretary of Health and Human Services. Why those three? Because that's the three organizations that need to execute this program. Subject, Presidential Determination of Refugee Admissions for fiscal year 2026. Now, this isn't the report that projects. That's a much deeper report that hasn't come out yet. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States in accordance with Section 207 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, Title 8, U.S. Code, Section 1157, and after appropriate consultations with the Congress, I hereby make the following determinations and authorize the following actions. The admissions of up to 7,500 refugees to the United States during fiscal year 2026 is justified by humanitarian concerns or is otherwise in the national interest. Now, that sentence is a boilerplate sentence that will appear in every presidential determination projecting what it's going to be for the next year. It'll just change the number. The last one by Biden said 125,000. We only took in, I think, 26,000 or 41,000. The admissions numbers shall primarily be allocated among Afrikaners from South Africa pursuant to Executive Order 14204 and other victims of illegal or unjust discrimination in their respective homelands. So, does that mean coloreds and Indians are not included? I don't know. That's unclear. If you're a colored and Indian, you're interested in getting out through this program, I would continue to advise you to put a statement of interest in and pursue it. Refugee admissions under this determination, which may reach but not exceed the numerical limit described herein, are in all respects subject to the requirements of other presidential policies and actions, whether issued prior or subsequent to this determination. In other words, anything that restricts a refugee, another human rights abuser, that's been pointed out in a previous presidential determination, you can't come over. So that still applies. So anything that previously applied would still apply. Okay, that's what that's all about. All right. Those presidential policies and actions include, but are not limited to, Executive Order 14161, which mandates that refugees receive the most stringent identification and verification of any class of alien seeking admission or entry to the United States. Executive Order 14163, which suspends the entry into the United States of refugees other than when the Secretaries of State and Homeland Security determine that admission is in the national interest and does not threaten the security or welfare of the United States. Executive Order 14204, which provides for refugee resettlement of Afrikaners from South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. Now, the problem with that is that executive order also allowed Indians and coloreds to come in. So I suspect you'll still be included based on the fact that it references that, saying that still applies. So there are Indians and coloreds who've come to America under this program already under that executive order, which is 14204. So given that 14204 is still applicable, then I would presume, Professor G, if you're still here, I would presume that Indians and coloreds would still be eligible. Does that make sense? That's a common sense approach, but then the application law is not always even. All right. And Proclamation 10949, which restricts the entry of certain foreign nationals whose admission would be detrimental to the United States our national interest, like people who are scumbag shysters, hucksters, and charlatans who defraud people of their money. Secretary of State is authorized and directed to publish this determination in the Federal Register. It was filed today at 11:15 a.m. and it became public about 3 hours ago, about 2 hours after that, because people were paying attention to the Federal Register and they alerted the news services. So there you go. So that is the situation. Rather than panic, I would say that South Africans should feel a bit assured. The President Trump has not abandoned you. President Trump has continued to push this program for South Africans suffering from unjust racial persecution. And in fact, the program will continue in this fiscal year, and most of the people that will be authorized to come here will be South Africans. That is a huge turnaround of any policy in the past. For 30 years, nigh on 20 for sure, South African appeals for help have been ignored by the world. Racist actions of the government of South Africa, setting limits, banning minorities from participating in the economy, banning minorities from receiving benefits to go to university, banning minorities from using medical clinics, banning minorities, confiscating land without compensation, now forcing people to learn a colonial language, English. All of these things have been going on for years and picking up an accelerated pace, and not a single country in the world has recognized the racism inherent in the laws of the government of South Africa. Yet everyone lost their minds over apartheid, and rightly so. But the same people, the Netherlands, the French, the Germans, the Brits, and the blue-haired tawnies of America who screamed and railed against apartheid have ignored the sufferings of those being punished by revenge politics of the ruling party in South Africa. President Trump has recognized that, and he has let people come in. 400 are here already. That 400 will not count against this cap or this limit. That 400 that are already here are done and dusted for that year. And now 7,000 or so will be able to come into the country this coming fiscal year, which is already underway. 1 month has passed, and we have not had anyone come over. Does that make sense? Let me look in the chat. Let me show you some of the news stories that are breaking now. The Associated Press and all these people, it's like they can't bring themselves to find other photographs of white South Africans. It's all the 59ers. So there you go. There's the 59ers. A 7,000 annual limit for refugees. Mostly will be white South Africans. Trump sets refugee ceiling at record low, 7,500 with focus on white South Africans. Politico, Trump administration slashes number of refugees, prioritize Afrikaners. That's a true statement, but all these use the same photographs. There's Thea once again in that picture. Trump cuts 2026 refugee admissions to historic low. Most will be white South Africans. Trump administration sets lowest ever cap on refugee admissions to the U.S. That's from National Public Radio. Trump sets 7,500 annual limit for refugees entering the U.S. It will be mostly white South Africans. That's factual. U.S. will limit the number of refugees to 7,500 and give priority to white South Africans. That's factual. It's nice to see the news actually reporting truth. Trump administration announces major changes in refugee administrations. That's from Newsweek. And not a single report from Cockprot 24, nor from Times Live, nor from the toilet paper of record, the IOL. Why is that? Because they're all in bed at this hour. They don't work 24 hours. They're not real news organizations. Real news organizations have people on the desk 24/7 to report breaking news, but not in South Africa. So let me get to the chat here and see who's in the chat, and I'll address as much of this as I can. So some of it's already disappeared off my screen, so we'll go back here. No, it's here. Professor G says, I was going to try and make a video about this tonight since it looks official at this point. It will be published tomorrow. I'll have to take kids to practice, so I'll be listening. Yeah, I did do a short on this already, and now I'm doing this live stream to get people updated, to calm things down, to prevent panic, and also to preempt the Cockprot 24, the toilet paper of record, IOL, the Daily Bullshit, Maverick, and all the others who tomorrow will lie about this story and present it as a racist situation. Never mind the fact that we took in 300,000 white Ukrainians under the Biden regime. Forget that. We didn't call racism there, but now we call it because South Africans, there's a legacy or a history of apartheid for which most of these people coming over here weren't even alive at the time it occurred. So Annette Apple, Tiger and Sweets, Professor G's YouTube is here, and then Mustard and Olive Coaching, Andre Mostart, Marna Viana, welcome to you. Rhino Girl is back. Sonette Scott, Harold M1611, Eudora Prinsloo, Furry Toes, Helen Troy, Fabian is here, Beulah Reichart, Dion Sten. There's always been a cat refugees. It's just a very low number, but perfectly in line with Trump's promise to reform the system. Exactly right. There you go. Thank you, Professor G. There's always a cap, but the cap gets exceeded on more than one occasion. It's also underdone. This past year, we didn't bring 125,000 refugees in the country, nowhere near that, because Trump suspended the program in January. And even in years when the number has been set for 100,000, 175, 125,000, a lot of times we don't bring that many people in because there isn't enough money. Clinton West, welcome to you. Marlene Kalitz, heartbreaking. Afrikaner lost everything. Farm attack, fall Colonel February. Yet still nothing to date. People after me already pressed this, all because USA never allowed priority cases in. Marlene, I don't know what you're talking about. What constitutes a priority case in your opinion? And how do you know that? How do you know that priority cases have been in, and who determines what a priority case is? I understand that you're frustrated, but what's heartbreaking? The program just announced they're going to let 7,000 more people in. There's only 400 here. What are you heartbroken about? Fire Dragon, Sonny Rautenbach. See, people always look on the bad side of things. This is a good side, as Professor G's kind of alluding to, and I'm saying outright, this is good news. You have a target number now. Now you know, 23 per day, which the commercial airlines can handle, 23 per day for the next 11 or 10 months. Feeling a bit dismantled, to say the least. There is no hope from there was, and now we're not sure. What are you guys are just gloomy gusses. You know, this is good news. I don't know why you don't think it's good news. I mean, you're giving a target now. They said they're going to put this many people in. Before there was no target. Everybody speculated. And all the news in South Africa said this is all nonsense. It's not real. Trump will never bring people to America. It's just Trump talking out his butt. That's what they said. And yet we've processed thousands of people to come over here, and people are disappointed. Well, I don't know what to tell you. On February 6th, you had nothing. Nothing. Nobody gave a shit about you on February 6th. Nobody did a damn thing to help you on February 6th. Nobody lifted a finger to help South Africans. I mean, I did, but I'm just a nobody. So I guess that's right. Nobody did. Nobody. Not a single country in the world. And they still don't. None of them offer this. None. Not Ireland. Not England. United Kingdom. Not Germany. Not Italy. Not Spain. Not Portugal. Not Australia. Not New Zealand. Not Canada. None of them. Instead, those countries let criminal alien invaders invade their countries and demand social services, which taxpayers have to pay for, and bifurcate their country, and then demand Sharia law and demand that people not eat pork and things like that. Nobody offered you anything. Trump did, and he's followed through. I'm here with a heavy heart. The cat. It's not a low. Oh my gosh. Okay, look. You guys want to moan and be unhappy. That's on you. I can't do anything about that. All I can tell you is the facts. All I can tell you is the facts here. What did you think it was going to be? 2 million? Let me ask that question. What did you think that the number of refugees we would let in would be? Does anybody think it was going to be 1 million? 500,000? What did you expect? The United States has never taken in more than 170,000 in a year. And that was, or maybe 180,000. That was because Joe Biden's incompetence. Normally we take in 100,000 or less, 70,000, 50,000. Yeah, it's a low number. But 95% of it is for Afrikaners or South Africans. And people are sitting here inconsolate. Fabian says, not too worried about the cap stage. I'm praying for my cap to go and believe it will come at the right time. Jaretha, welcome to you. I feel all hope for South Africa is gone. Well, then just give up. When they call, just don't, just say, I'm not interested. I don't want to go. Just give up. What the hell? Helen says, Trump is best, no question. Just since the program was announced and then open, it was evolved. And if it weren't for Press G and Colonel Wyatt, I think we'd still be bland dimwits. I don't know if you'd be bland dimwits, but you'd have bad information. Yes, you're right, Valerie, and that's exactly right. That's why I'm here now. I had other things to do. I came from the sports medicine doctor who talked to me about my hip, and I quickly recorded 4 shorts out of there about 4 different topics, including this, and the first one I did. And then I rushed home through traffic to get here to get this out before the fake media in South Africa start lying about it. You can't get the song because I have it and one of my viewers created it. If he gives me permission, I'll publish it on my Spotify. Press G said, I get the frustration. I wish we could do more, but I understand the U.S. government's position. Is it their job to open the floodgates? When Trump was focused on America first, at least there's a program. Exactly. Christopher, Ohio, is saying hello. Welcome, Christopher. Marlene Gregorio, welcome to you. And who else we got here? Matki Fanyasfeld, hello. I would love a poll of those who had no contact. Yeah, let's do that, okay? Because there's only a few people here. Let's do that, okay? All right, so let's do a poll. And please don't criticize my poll after the fact. Where are you in the PR? Okay, I can only get 4 questions there. Okay. Okay. This will contact. Okay. Okay. Sorry. There's no one here doing this for me. I have to do it myself. All right, there you go. There's a poll for you, okay? There's your poll. Daniel Whitfield, welcome to Expat Family Joubert. I don't see it as a negative. The U.S. is the only country is acknowledged and what's going on. Exactly, Valerie. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a negative. It's a positive development. What did people expect? I just want to say, what did people expect for the numbers to be? Dogzilla, why are you being an ass? A tiny number, 7,500 people? Piss off. Good evening, Blixum. How's it going? Sherry Linda Clarkson, hello to you. And there's a super chat from TJ Potgeeter. Looking forward to your research on the best ways to take money over. Is there any chance of sneak peek teaser? No, there's no chance. Thank you, TJ Potgeeter, for the 140 Rand. No, I mean, this is the first time I actually had time to myself, other than the couple hours last night, and I was going to use it to work on that. But this news broke while I was out at the sports medicine office, and so it has occupied my entire afternoon now, researching it and getting the facts, and analyzing, and now doing a live stream. So plus the short. Rhino Girl says USA owes us nothing. That's true. Don't see it as a negative. Okay, that's where we were. Fabian says, America first, that's how I live when I'm there. Okay. Professor D, side note, what do you doing the music. You guys were all saying that before I went live, so okay, maybe I have calmed you down, maybe I haven't. A great thank you to Colonel Wyatt for your help and advice. Keep me going. Why is Professor G getting all the love on my channel? Do you guys give me love on his channel? It's funny. Okay, Larissa Rogers, welcome to you. I have to once again say thank you to Colonel and Professor G, says Val. Okay, must say glad to be home right now. Safe space, good company. Glad. Hey, Sue Marie, what's up? I think those of us that has understood common sense fully understand that the U.S. owes us nothing. However, I think that the hope many of us had after so many years of feeling forgotten, now feeling disappointed. Why are you feeling disappointed? Why are you feeling disappointed? What did I tell people on May 12th at Wimpy, OR Tambo? If you submit a PRM email, submit a statement of interest right now. Don't hesitate. Go get in front of the queue. Many people did. Some people are just now coming around to it. I'd like to get in this program. Okay. So you want to lay odds? Let me say this right now. It is October 30th. All right. This is not a prediction. This is not a Senior Fund Wyatt moment. But let me just lay this marker out there. Professor G, you're listening. I'm going to say this right here. On the 30th of October, 2025, I'm going to tell you, watch the numbers. I would not be even remotely surprised to see more than 7,000 South Africans come into the country. All right? That's what I'm telling you right now. That's what I'm telling you right now. More. This is not law. This is not set in stone. This cannot be unaltered. This is not the end of the story. So, lobbying groups can influence. Elon Musk, if he cares, can influence. Peter Talliard, if he's interested, can influence. It's not the end of the story. Take a deep breath. Peel yourself off the ceiling. Okay? If you have a case number, then you should be fine. You should be coming over. You just saw my short 5 minutes ago. Well, I did a few hours ago. Clinton says, you always trust my analysis. 2 interviews lined up with my EC. My first is soon, or it was super nice. Yep. And you sent your interest when it came out, Silent Bob. You're always inviting me when walking out. Okay. My mom and I are apart. Hope they're okay. How they express interest? Are you sleeping? Statement of interest. Good Lord. How many times do I have to say that? I just have a question. If I received an RC call saying they're going to call Joey, let me explain whether you're part of the cap. Are you currently in the United States? No. What fiscal year are we in? Fiscal year 26. Started 1 October, runs 30 September of 2026. If you haven't arrived in America under this program, then you can only arrive in this program under that figure. So yes, you would have to be part of that. Clinton says, thank you. You're welcome for breaking the news. Hey, Loretta. Maggie Groves. Callers in still include. Okay, Maggie, did you come late? I read that before 4:23, so did you not listen? I started this at 4:12, and in the first 10 minutes, I said that it isn't clear. It is unclear. But it references previous executive orders and says they still apply. The executive order 14204 provides for refugee settlement of Afrikaners from South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. And as I said, which pissed off some racist right-wing Afrikaners and Boers, that the term Afrikaner can be loosely applied to people who aren't just lacking skin pigmentation. Many coloreds can be considered Afrikaners or consider them such, and even some Indians who speak Afrikaans as a first language or cultural line. I said that. That pissed a lot of people who are racist off. I don't care. That says Afrikaners. That executive order said Afrikaners. But coloreds and Indians have come over on the program. I can verify that 100%. They have, including in the first 59. There were some coloreds. So, since that executive order still applies according to this presidential determination, I would anticipate that it still includes Indians and coloreds. But I can't say that for certain. I'm not processing people. We don't know. All things being equal, yes, they should still be included. But the media is going to run with the whites only, whites only, farmers, Afrikaners. That's what they're going to inundate you with, and you're going to listen to that. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm reading this presidential determination. It says the previous executive order still applies. Under that executive order, Indians and colors have come over. So, all things being equal, it should continue. But I can't promise you that. Does that make sense? Finances should not be a reason for taking. If you're coming here for money, then you don't need to be here. If this is what it's all about, money, this isn't immigration. Sparks says some people applied and August already gone through the interview and we did ours in May. It's still, well, nothing changes that, Sparks. Nothing changes that. First off, where do you get your information from? Some applied in August. Who are these people that applied in August? Most people I'm hearing from sent a PRM email in or sent a statement of interest in May and June, and they're getting called now. So I don't know where you get your information from. A lot of bullshit out there going on in WhatsApp groups, cockprot groups, Facebook pages. A lot of bullshit artists out there. I don't know these people that sent their statement of interest in August. That's bullshit. I haven't talked to a single person that sent a statement of interest, and I talked to thousands of South Africans and received emails from thousands of South Africans who have expressed interest in this program. So I don't know where that comes from. Stop. I mean, unless you have confirmation of somebody that's in America who's been processed completely, and you know where they live and you know their name, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. CJ, I just answered that question again. You asked it a little while ago. It's okay. We just have to pray and have faith, says Charlene Kruger. I have a choice of getting the green card as my brother's F4 came through. Is it better to go through F4? Drivel YouTube, I have no idea what to tell you. You have a choice of getting, what do you mean you have a choice of getting a green card? If you have a choice of getting a green card, that's up to you. That's permanent residency. If you can get it, then why haven't you gotten it? I don't understand that. Why are you even asking? If you have an option to do, I don't understand. I'm not trying to be difficult here at Drivel YouTube, but I don't understand. If you can have a green card, why don't you have one? You just don't want to pay for it? I don't understand. I'm not criticizing. I'm not throwing darts at you. I don't understand. If I was from South Africa and I had an opportunity to work in America and I wanted to live here, I wanted to be there, but then I would just do it. I don't understand. Yep, Andres Muller said, during my interview, several Indians and coloreds and mixed couples were there. And Andres, I'm betting that your interview was in October or possibly September. This was published internally on 30 September, yet people still went. Monza says, you guys back me up in Professor G's stream. Well, thank you for that. All right, looks like I'm caught up. Can't believe I caught up. Wow. I got a caller ID. We'll call sometime. There's no date and time. I have no idea what that means. You must not profile. We're humans. Don't be boxes. What are you talking about, Doug? Who is that directed at me? Positivity draws positive. Always look on the bright side. If you don't go this year, exactly. Trump is president for 3 more years. Fiscal 27, 28, 29. So, and that's same here. You're welcome, Marlene. Lindy, yes, the 40,000 was leaked by the New York Times, and look, it turned out to be wrong. See, that's why I questioned the 40,000. I said, we don't know that. Someone's leaking something. I don't buy that. I find it amazing people panic about 2026 cap, forgetting Trump will still probably offer the program to us in 27, 20. Yeah, thank you, wealthy money bunnies. Wealthy money bunnies. Solar, yes, bro, did my interview last week. We'll be going for my interview next week. Okay, positivity is paramount. A lot goes into getting 7,005 people, cost, interviews, etc. If average time. Got an email saying we should expect a phone call. Okay, congratulations, Clyde Herbla. Received email today confirming that we will be departing as soon as shutdown is over. Also login credentials. There you go. Skills Enhancement Foundation. There's someone else. What else? Are those that have been approved now after the shutdown then part? Yes, Gene Kitching. That is correct. Again, so let me be very clear about this. I don't understand what people are not understanding. Maybe they walked in late. All right. This is a total for fiscal year 2026. The United States federal government runs a fiscal year from 1 October until 30 September. That's the fiscal year. Not December, January, begins in January. No, October. We're in fiscal year 2026. It began on October 1st. Not a single refugee has arrived here from anywhere in the world in October. The last ones came on September 26th or 25th. That's it. So the 400 or so that are already here don't count. They're done and dusted, finishing Clark, not part of this. Anybody who's been processed or is in the process of processing would be in that 7,000 for this fiscal year, averaging 700 per month over the next 10 months. I hope that's clear. Again, people were bumming out. What were you expecting? I mean, honestly, that's what I want to know. People here are all distraught. What were you expecting? There's a program. Trump froze the program for everybody. I mean, this is, look, I don't mean to, because then, of course, he's going to come in here and accuse me of being a narcissist and hating on Afrikaners. You know, that clown who attacked me again. But let's yeah, I called you a clown this time, buddy, because I'm tired of your bullshit. Anyway, I never said anything bad about you, and you called me, you were just rude and disrespectful. So anyway, you all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so He outed himself on Ronaldo's channel. So Trump froze the program for the world. People bent over backwards in the State Department when there was no money available to find money, to apply money from other programs legally so they don't go to jail, so that they could get a vendor, RSC, part of CWS, to process and screen people so we can get people over here. They ran a test program. They sent out an email address to see how many people are interested. Is it 10 people? Is it 10,000? Is it 100,000? The media lied about it the entire time. Every media outlet of record has lied about this program over and over and over again. It's not for farmers. It wasn't just for white people. And that's just nonsense. And that's what they stick on. And then they try to destroy the character of people like Charles Kleinhaus and Earl Langton and Thea von Stratton. That's what's been going on. People bent over backwards to get this program to proof of concept underway. A wealthy American paid for the charter flight to get 59 people over here because there's no money to pay for the flight, to get them out to prove it could be done. Remember, this is in-country refugee. We don't do this very often. We've done it for Cuba, we've done it for Bosnia and Herzegovina, and a handful of other countries. We don't do this. Normally, refugees are sitting in a UN camp somewhere in another country, meeting the legal definition of a refugee. We are extending refugee status to people who aren't even refugees. Now, the media, if they're watching this out there, are going to go, aha, Colonel Wyatt said they're not refugees. Not in the traditional sense, but legally under our law, they are refugees. All right. Rhino Girl says, we appreciate Chris' apologies on behalf of the ungrateful, selfish whiners. Well, I understand people being disappointed, Rhino Girl. But again, I don't know what people's expectations were. I honestly don't. If it had been 100, I would have been disappointed. If it had been 1,000, I would have been disappointed. If it had been 5,000, I would have been like, oh, that's kind of lame. 7,000? No. That's 700 people per month for the next 10 months. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And there are already 1,000 people waiting to leave. So that first 1,000 are going to come quickly. Once the money starts to flow, once the approval takes place, once the government starts working again, boom, 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 boom. We'll probably see a lot of people go quickly, and then it'll slow down a little bit. There'll be fewer of them as they process more people. That's my analysis of it. But I'm here on the 30th of October, 2025, telling you I will not be remotely surprised, even shocked at all, if we gain in more than 7,000 South Africans over the next fiscal year. Well, I wasn't in a rush and put it in for 6-9 months, needed to finish studies and still took it as a good call. Then we go. I had a lot of plans for the future. All right, Sumeri. Janine Beutentag, imagine if you take 7,000 people and you let them all stand on the leftist surface, will probably fill that field. Yeah, it's a lot of people. How many filed a statement of interest? We don't know how many dogs sell. The government hasn't disclosed that. We do know that in the Senate, Marco Rubio, as the Secretary of State, testified in late May that by late May, it was open on the 12th of May. By late May, 2 weeks later, they had received 70,000 statements of interest. That's what he said. That's his testimony. I can't account for that. I'm not the Secretary of State. That was in May. There's been not a single piece of information publicly from the U.S. government since then. Many of us have made estimates. Many of us have made analysis of how many people there are, but nobody has the true answer publicly. There's no structure or organization. This program is completely random. Your odds of being accepted are very low. It's like playing lottery. It's better to move on. Well, Johan Vihan, then leave. Go. Move on. Go, Debbie Downer. First off, how the hell do you know whether the structure of the program? Are you involved in the program? Have you executed the program? Do you work at the American Embassy? Are you just talking out your cake hole? Honestly, completely random. Really, completely random. Earlier, one of the viewers said something about they're not taking priority cases. Well, I know somebody whose in-law was just murdered and they're about to get on a plane. So you want to talk priority cases? That's a priority case. If it's better to move on, then move on. Then don't talk about it. Don't care about it. What do you care? What do you care? What do you care? If it's random, if it's just nobody's going to get it, then don't do it. Of course, these are the same people who go to the casino and blow all their money and gamble. So TM Afrikaners says, first did a PRM email in February, statement was end of June, and first contact last week. There you go. So I don't know if it was probably off the SOI you got contacted. So you did it in June. Clinton got it next week. All right, what have I missed here? Francis Ruiz says, we only submit ours in June. If we don't go this year, there's always next year. Luna says, thank you, Chris. Everything we appreciate. You're welcome. America has kindness, but no unique idea. Do you think we might? I can't project that, Rikus, but I would guess that if you've been look, let me state this, okay? If you've already been contacted, because they can't contact 30 or 40, 50,000 people and handle those cases, juggle all those cases. If you've been contacted, I suspect that you're probably going to fall in that cap as long as you're ready to depart when they tell you to depart. That's the only information we have. I would say that's probably the case. It's not a lottery. It's about patience. Exactly, Jess. So, Johan, if you don't want to play the lottery, then don't play the lottery, man. It's your prerogative. I mean, you got nothing else. So do what you got to do, man. It's your life. You got to live it. You know, you got to live your life as best you can. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Anthea did it on the 12th of May, 9 a.m., no contact. Well, the 9 a.m. was pretty quickly. That might have been before I did I do my stream before that? I can't remember. Or my video. 5th of June, says Luva. Okay. Is it true that new visa number allocation are done in October? I don't know what that means, Drill. What are visa number allocations? Never heard of such a thing. We don't have allocations for visas. People apply for visas, and if they qualify, we let them in. I don't know what you're talking about, a visa limit. What is that? I mean, if you're a businessman in Uganda and you have a business deal in Atlanta, you go to American Embassy, you go to the consulate, and you apply for a visa. You pay your ridiculously expensive fee, which is $200 some US, and then you wait to see if you get approved, and then you come to America. There's no limit. I don't understand what you're talking about. What visa allocations? Johan, are you just typing the same thing over and over again? If you do, you're going to get timeout. Or maybe my chat went backwards, so I apologize if I'm misstating that. Okay. We have a case number waiting process after our meeting on Tuesday. Okay. You're welcome, Angelique. No, it has nothing to do with the budget. Nothing to do with the budget. John Brown has nothing to do with the budget. Yep. No, this is the presidential determination that Church World Services told people is necessary for people to start moving. I told people that you also need money to make people move. Okay. So that has nothing to do with that. There's a lot of fear mongering going on. There is. And then it's including right in here. You got people coming and saying, you might as well not waste your time. Why are you coming here fear mongering, man? Johan says it's random, Chris. Some people apply in May but haven't been contacted. Some people apply in June, ready to fly. How do you know it's not structured? Okay, that's an assumption on your part, Johan. I don't have the answer. You don't have the answer. Maybe there's a reason why those people got called. Maybe their case was screened and it looked to be more dire. I don't know. You don't know. We're not in the program, man. But thank you for sticking around, Johan. I appreciate that. No, you don't know. I don't know. You're making an assumption that it's just random. It appears random. If you want to say it appears random, that's a fair statement. But there's no factual basis to claiming that it is. I can't claim it is. What I can claim is that my government has been entirely opaque about this program for far too long, and that oftentimes their disclosure of how things are being done is only occurring after I've done analysis of it and publicly told people what I believe is happening, and most times I've been spot on. And maybe they did it because I told people, maybe they did it because they hadn't thought about it, maybe they did it because they just got around to it, I don't know. But neither you or I know that. I'm not in the program. You're not in the program, Johan, that I know of. I don't work in the embassy. You don't work in the embassy. I don't work for PM. You don't work for PRM or USCIS. So that's your view, and I don't think there's a valid basis for making it. If you want to say it appears to be random, 100%, I would agree with that. It does appear to be random, certainly from the outside. Look, I mean, having been an intelligence officer and been in the military and dealt with budgets and people and moving and conflict and this and that and the other things, things oftentimes look one way and they're another way. We don't have all the information. That's the problem. We're working in a vacuum here. My fiancé and I are not married, so unfortunately our submission for state interest must wait. Why will it wait? Why are you waiting, Lumi Kitty? Are you getting married or are you waiting to get married in 2028? If you're waiting to get married in 2028, then you're right to hold your statement. But if you're getting married soon, if you have plans of getting married soon, then why don't you both put a statement of interest in? If you both qualify, why don't you both put one in? What are you waiting on? 50 people has his workplace, only 2 are interested in the program. Okay, Francis. Has anyone been denied? Well, I know now confidently that 2 people who are accused of being flim-flam man, shysters, charlatans, fraudsters, those who tried to use a photograph of me that they took in a selfie at my Centurion meet and greet, I can confidently say that they were not allowed to apply for the program. They tried to get into the refugee program, and their applications weren't even considered. And I don't know what's going on with them. But yeah, so beyond that, I'm not aware of anybody that's been rejected. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. And Doug. Okay. Slick Web. A question on my statement of interest. I indicated I don't have relevant documentation. The website says do not submit another statement of interest. So my recommendation to you is to follow what the website says. And when they contact you, see, that's the thing. People are like, okay, well, I don't have a passport, or I said 9 months, or I don't have documentation, so they're not going to call me. That's not the case. Lots of people have been called. They're calling you based on the situation, based on your statement of interest, or contacting based on that. They realize that people didn't have passports because South Africans don't have passports. You people never leave the damn country, most of you. So what would you have a passport for? And most people had to get a passport in home affairs as a joke in many places in South Africa. So they recognize that. And if you didn't have documentation, you got to run down a unabridged birth certificate or a current modern birth certificate or whatever. So that's not going to affect it, most likely. They'll contact you, call you in. If you don't have the documentation, then they'll just hold your case up. But it's not going to stop you being contacted. Appears to random for what okay, all right, got you, Johan. Now I'm 100%. Johan, Vihan, and I are drinking the same Kool-Aid. Hang on, Johan. Let me get my Kool-Aid. Here you go. Brother, that's very good Kool-Aid. You are correct. It does appear to be random, like a lottery, 100%. But I'll follow that up with your previous statement. Why would people not try? For a lottery, you have to pay for the ticket and take money out of your pocket. What do you take out of your pocket to put a statement of interest in? Nothing. Couple minutes of your time. Just do it. Yeah, one of the mods put my email address up, please. Thank you. Marlon Myberg says, thank you for your visit. Welcome. Thank you for everything you do, Colonel. All the time you spend on stuff far and the efforts very much. You're welcome. Everyone must appreciate the hard work and dedication for the teams that's assisting in your cases. They're only human, can only do so much today. We appreciate all this. Thank you, Rudy. That's true. Wolf wants to know, do you think if I'm done with both my interviews and my medicals that I will... Okay, so, all right. I'm going to close the poll. It's got 342 votes, 481 people here. Close it in a couple minutes. If you want to vote in the poll, do it really quickly. It looks like interesting here. This is interesting. So, all right. I got to go to the other screen to read your messages because I got the damn poll over. I can't reduce it on this screen. I have a certificate, not unabridged. I was worried they might deny me. I wouldn't worry about it, Daniel. Just get what you can. Wolf, I thought you were all but waiting to fly. So, of course, you'd be on the 7,500. First off, guys, how many of you think that there are 7,000 people waiting to fly right now? Does anybody? Put your hand up. You think someone... I can't see any of you. Put your hand up. I can't see anybody. There aren't 7,000 people waiting to leave. Okay? There aren't. I guarantee that. You can call me on that. On this date, on 30 October 2025, there are not 7,000 South Africans who've been processed completely, who are done with all their checks. They've been approved, have a provisional letter to depart to come to America. There are not 7,000. Now, there are 20-some thousand refugees from around the world or more who have that, and they're not coming. But there are not 7,000. So if you've gone through all that, yes, you should be in the 7,000. Does that make sense? We apply for our passports recently. We've been contacted. Yeah, they say get them as soon as possible. Thank you, Jess. That's exactly right. Thank you. There's confirmation from Jess who says that did that passport, submitted a statement of interest, was still contacted. Now they've got him. And they said, what did they say? Okay. Anyway. You're welcome, Luna. UCIS knows which cases are priority cases. Yes, but we don't, Philip. We don't. Some people think their cases are priority, but they're not. Like Dante van Wyk, priority case. People are trying to murder him. We know. We have evidence of people trying to murder Dante van Wyk, who's the one who won a judgment against the evil incarnate Julius Malema. He has death threats against him. He has to move around every so often. He is a priority case. Assuming he applied. He would be a priority case, I should say. He would be a priority case. Slick West says, okay, cool. Yeah, and they said just get them as soon as possible. Exactly. I know you have stated that we shouldn't apply more than once, but I sent an email the 12th of February when the portal opened. I don't know what to expect anymore. Devon, look, I'm just telling you what the American Embassy says. Their embassy, the website, and the Amerikaners tell you not to submit it twice. Do what you're going to do. Do what you're going to do. I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you that I could go through my email right now. I saw at least 3 emails earlier today from people who submitted stuff on the 12th of May or around that date or before that date, all who have been contacted this week. And then yesterday I received emails from people who were complaining to me, I don't know. And then I received another, 2 days ago, and now they've been contacted. So I don't know what to tell you, Devin. I would recommend following the advice of the embassy, but I'm not the boss of you. Greg Borchert says, thank you for all your time and advice. Your knowledge and advice is spot on and kept me motivated. I'm moving through the process in the final stages. Thanks. You're welcome, Greg. Please pay it back and do an interview when you come to the States. We can do it in anonymous one if you want, but please do the interview. At least the U.S. has created awareness of the world of what's going on. That's true, Valerie. Yep. Wolf says, okay, we received approval letter, and today we received our case summary dashboard. Again, it says your case has been approved for resettlement. Okay, Rhombus Meniscus, are you just tuning in? This is a question I've answered at least 4 times in the last 44 minutes. Okay? Why would you be at risk? And I just covered that. I just said moments ago that they have not possibly got 7,000 people approved. So you're in the queue. There's about 1,000 waiting right now. So you're in that 1,100. Daniel Smith, you're welcome. Raven von Croy, welcome. Solar Auxiliary, for those in chat who have been contacted, right? Was it email or phone? It depends. Some people don't answer their phone, so they send them an email. Thank you so much for your information, Colonel. It's really pretty. You're welcome, Wheeler. It's funny how Department of Home Affairs says it takes months for the underbridge birth certificate, but they print it there. It's not sent via the post office. Yeah, because they're useless. Yanni Beutendog, by my Einstein math calculation, I think there would be 2,000 waiting to fly already. Where'd it go? Damn it. Where's your Einstein math at? Well, Yanin, how do you come up with that figure? I come up with the figure because I know how many people are able to process every day. But processing doesn't mean finished, okay? Understand that. If 300 people go through the refugee processing per day, that doesn't mean 300 people are approved. That just means that process starts for them. So people getting provisional letters now, in many cases, are people who had their interviews and medicals 2 or 3 weeks ago or longer. A few sooner because their case is simpler. I mean, if you're 19 years old and you're applying and you got a basis for it, you're not going to have a 35-year history that has to be investigated. So your case can go quicker. What's the difference between conditional and provisional? It's the same thing. Same thing. Provisional and conditional, same thing. Okay, that's all you're ever going to get because your status can be revoked at any time if we find fraud. We got contacted by Afrikaners on the 8th, and we struggled to get an online appointment at Home Affairs. We went on the 28th for our passports, and I sent Afrikaners an email. Okay, Charlene. Bigger in Texas. I've also not been contacted. 14 May, but I believe it's going to happen soon. Kanavak Vekkomni. Okay. When do you suspect the shutdown may end? David Barnard, I answered this question many, many times. I don't think it would end before tomorrow at the earliest. Probably mid-November, just before Thanksgiving. It depends how much pain the Democrats are willing to inflict on Americans. They approved 13 flat spending bills to continue the government during the 4 years of Joe Biden. 13 times the Democrats and Republicans voted to continue government spending while they worked out a budget deal. 13 times. The Democrats have now voted 13 times to reject the same bill the Democrats approved 13 times the previous 4 years. So what's going on here? The Democrats are just evil. Waiting, sorting out. And by the way, the health care they're complaining about is a situation they created. In 2010, Nancy Pelosi said, just sign the bill. You can read it afterwards for the Affordable Care Act. The Unaffordable Care Act had a sunset clause in it. 30 September 2025. Guess what? That has come and gone. Guess who passed that legislation? Barack Hussein Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. Not the Republicans. They all voted against it, for the most part. And they set it up to expire now. It has expired, and now they're blaming Trump for it. Trump was doing The Apprentice when they came up with that crap. Just read the BBC article in the breaking news. They continue to say it's only white people. Well, Star Chaser, that's because their definition of an Afrikaner is different than mine. And a lot of right-wing white racists don't like my definition. That's their problem, not mine. And of course, they attack me. My definition is broader than theirs. And also, it's fair to understand why they would assume that. People generally assume that Afrikaners are white and that the program says mostly Afrikaners. So the BBC and all the other outlets are going to run with that story. And that's fine because they're not very bright. We understand that. Andreas Muller guaranteed an hour interview. Well, thank you for that. And Wolf can't wait to do an interview with me. Okay. Wealthy. Where'd you go? Wealthy. You can email with the case number. It also has a list of cell numbers you can need to look out for. Okay, thank you for that. Sasha Bean, thanks for your trust and info once again. As refugees, what will happen with us with food now that food stamps are gone? Oh, those are good questions there. Okay, so I don't have all the answers for that. Sasha, each state is different. What happens in each state is very different. So what I can tell you is the following, okay? I can give you anecdotal examples of what's going to happen. I do know that refugee assistance centers and officers who assist refugees make sure that when people arrive, their pantries are stocked with food. Their fridges have food. They also bring food to them. If you have your Social Security number already when you arrive, some South Africans do because they've been here previously, you can go look for work immediately. You can work the next day. If you don't have Social Security number, you have to wait. I've been told by a number of people who've processed the past 6 weeks that they're now doing the refugee or the Social Security applications are done in South Africa before you come over. I don't know if that's true, but regardless, you'll have your Social Security number within 2 weeks. The refugee assistance is going to make sure you don't starve in that time. Once you start working, so within the first month, they're probably going to help you with food. Thea kept complaining about how much food they gave her. It was too much. They kept bringing food to her all the time. So you're going to be fine. First off, that's the first thing. So second, the medical. Now that's an interesting one because the big beautiful bill takes refugees and asylum seekers out of food stamps, SNAP, and Medicaid. So what happens is unclear. But in the case of Letitia, who lives in Virginia, the local refugee folks took them to a free clinic where they got better care than they get in South Africa, according to Letitia. That's her statement, not mine. She got better care for free at a free clinic in Virginia. Now, that's a free clinic in the town she's at. I don't know what happens to you here. By law, in every state in the Union and every territory, 4 territories, 50 states, you must be treated at a medical facility for an emergency situation. People go to emergency rooms all the time. They don't have money to pay for it. You must be treated. It's the law. The problem is that most people should have regular care where you see a physician regularly. I don't even have that. Never had that in the Army in 36 years. So I can't answer the question fully because it depends on where you're at. So in Alabama, Jay Langdon qualified for Medicaid, which is what they're getting, to my knowledge. And her husband's working. He might have health insurance under his employer. I don't know. But he's raising money because he had to take some time off from work. So I don't have a full answer for you there, Sasha, but it shouldn't be a concern. Again, this isn't about, and I'm not, folks, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not belittling Sasha's question because it's a very good question. And I appreciate the concern. What about this? What about that? But these things, what about this? What about that, are not legitimate questions for refugees. Refugees are fleeing persecution. Their life is in jeopardy of being extinguished. Therefore, refugees, while they might care about where they're going to get food, how they're going to have health care, and they worry about this, that, and the other, they don't really give a flip. They want to get away from the terror. They want to get away from their life being in jeopardy. Every night someone can come murder you because of your faith, because of your sexuality, because of your skin color or your origin. So refugees in Kenya, in Uganda, in Chad are happy just to get out. And they trust the U.S. government will make sure that nothing bad happens to them. And nothing bad does happen to them. But every state has their own programs. Virginia just announced a program to do something to help people who are not going to get food stamps tomorrow. That's a state program. States are sovereign. So, Sasha, thank you for your question. It's a very good question. I hope it can come across, mean, because it wasn't meant to be mean to people. But a good question. Oh, okay, Jenny. Maybe I might have read your statement wrong. It might be on me. I got the reading glasses on. Could be me. Romus just tuned in. Okay, Romus. Okay, great. Glad that you're here. Did I answer your question then? Church World Service International, 700 people are ready to fly. I don't know, but Church World, that didn't come from there. That came from the State Department. The State Department answered a question from the Washington Post. The Washington Post published it saying that there were already a week ago 700 people already processed. I know that number is close to 1,000, 100,000 now. You're welcome, Romus. My pleasure, and I'm glad you asked the question. I haven't heard back, but I said 1 year as I wanted to make sure the more urgent people help first. Possibly Vanner, but we don't know. As Johan Vihan said earlier, it appears to be random, so we don't know. You might get contact. For this important update, we'll catch up the rest of the video tomorrow. Thank you. You're welcome, Bonnie Duplessis. What else we got here? James Duvall, admire your patience. I do have a lot of patience, but I get called a narcissist. I get attacked for being mean to Afrikaners. I mean, some people just really need to grow up.
My wife have a skull carving business. She started in the States. She's going to have to find a job at first. This is doing all right. Slick Web, okay. Have to find a job? No. If you have money and resources to start a business, then you can start a business. You just got to comply with the local laws. That's all. Every state has a different way to register a business. That's it. You don't have to work. If you can make money on your own, you can make money. Just no OnlyFans accounts, all right? Considering applying in your future, I need to be sure of my choice as I do not want to waste anyone's time. Delbury Mustard, I don't understand what that means at all. Poll looks amazing. I'm going to get to poll in a moment. Took a break from following the news. Did process South Africans really not pitch up the airport? Amelia, first off, we don't know that because the story has been distorted. The Washington Post, even its own article, distorted. All the South African media who selectively edited what they copied from the Washington Post have falsely reported the story. So let me put it in perspective. The Washington Post said in the third week of September, there were 50 seats that were not filled by Afrikaner or by South African refugees. So that's 7 days. And that's 7 times 7 is 49, right? Is that right? 49? So that means an average of 7 seats weren't used per day. They said only 3 people showed up. Now, I don't know if that was on one day or if that was total over the 7 days. And they didn't mention the other days. But the bottom line with this is that the U.S. books seats. Also, we don't know this. The people arranging your flights are RSC. How do we know that RSC didn't cock something up and screw something up? I'm not saying they did, but how do we know? There's no context here. Someone probably innocently answered the question in a conversation, releasing information to the Washington Post, and they ran with it. But it really doesn't matter. What does it matter? What does it matter? Because from the 26th of September, there were no more flights. The seats that were booked were canceled because we can't bring people over during this lockdown or shutdown. So yeah, but it's the story's been wildly misreported and it's been used against. It's like look at the toilet paper record today. Washed up singer. They call Steve Hofmeyer a washed up singer. Segan Rel ought to be ashamed of herself. She's a propagandist. He said a washed up singer. I went to his Velvedot concert. Oh my gosh, 8,000 people in a tiny little space. Well, his 50,000 seat concert in Cape Town was canceled. Yeah. Do you know why? No. Maybe you do, Sean, but you didn't tell anybody why. The promoter dicked the whole thing up. And oh, by the way, if he's a washed-up singer, why did everybody fill the Dutch cruise line to go to Namibia? And then because I encouraged them to, they canceled when they didn't let Steve come. Steve was a headliner. Hundreds of people booked a cruise. They found out Steve got dropped last minute. Dozens of them canceled it. It's just fake news. Good night, Ronell. Approval after 3 days from U.S. That's very fast, Samantha. You must not have much in your background. Good evening now, Happy Camper. Think of Nouns, 14 Ram, making it rain. Thank you. Yaku Fari says, on a lighter note, will the Bucks do a Grand Slam? I don't know. If they beat France, the odds of them doing Grand Slam are very good. If they lose to France, then I'm nervous. So let's see how it goes with France. They should beat Japan. They should slaughter Wales. They should be. We have 5 games in November. November 1st all the way through the end of the cup. It's going to be interesting November. Solar Auxiliary, happy for you. We wish you all the best. Oh, that's from Samantha. Okay. Daniel Smith, I work online as full-time freelance for a company that services municipality in America for the past 3 years, so I'm sure you're forward to have this job. I hope it helps. No, it won't have anything to do with your application. Nope. No, you're not, okay. You're not immigrating to America. We don't want immigrants. We're not looking for skills. We're not looking for qualified people. We don't care if you have 1 lung, 1 testicle, and 1 finger. It doesn't matter. If you're suffering from unjust racial persecution, that's who this program is for. That can be wealthy people. That can be poor people. Up till now, it can be colored people, Indians, and white folks. It doesn't matter what your job was, what your skills are. The only way that plays a role potentially for a refugee is if you have a job with an American firm and you want to locate in there where they're at, say Wisconsin or Iowa, then you can mention it, and if they can get you there, they will try to accommodate that. But having a job, we don't care if you're illiterate. We don't care if you're toothless. We don't care if you have cancer. We brought cancer. People over here with cancer weren't treated in South Africa. Now we're treating them. It has nothing to do with your ability. You don't go to the front of the line because you're an astrophysicist. You don't go to the back of the line because you're a ditch digger. You don't go to the front of the line because you've got brilliant, shiny white teeth and you're sexy. You don't go to the back of the line because you're toothless. No, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. It only matters to you when you get here. But to the program, it is completely benign. No one cares. I've said that a million times over the past 8-10 months. Crazy. No one cares. It won't help you at all, Daniel. It won't help you at all. It's going to be all they report on tomorrow. They're going to have fun with this tomorrow. Yep. Well, Sweet Latte 23, where do you draw the conclusion that colored Indian folk aren't considered a priority? Where do you draw that conclusion? Where do you draw the conclusion? I've already covered this, and I will cover it one more time here. Ladies and gentlemen, this presidential determination says it's subject to all previous executive orders, proclamations, and determinations, and that includes, as I read, Executive Order 1420. I'm going to highlight this because obviously I got to keep telling people this because they're drawing false conclusions. Executive Order 14204 at the bottom, which provides for refugee resettlement of Afrikaners from South Africa who are victims of unjust racial discrimination. That's what the executive order was that went into place that's currently being operated under. So, have Indians and coloreds come over? Yes, including the first 59 coloreds. Indians and coloreds. Indians are over here. Coloreds are over here. Mostly white folks. That's a true statement. Mostly white folks. But Indians and coloreds are in there. And what do you mean by priority? I would say that in the first 59, those people were given a priority because they came over first for the pilot project. Boy, these glasses won't stay up. I got to keep adjusting them. Yeah, so I don't understand. What do you mean? What do you mean, pity, Sweet Latte? I think your assumption is not based on facts. Now, I'm not saying they'll continue because the order says Afrikaners, but if it relies on, as it says, the previous proclamations and executive orders, then it will continue that way. Tax form for Twitch. If you have a Social Security number, Devon Steenkamp, yes, that's a Social Security number. Jess says, not sure if I can ask, but I was looking into Social Security. What is that? Social Security supplemental? What are you talking about? Hey, could you tell me where to look for the correct? The Social Security Administration is the only place you can go. SSI, you got to go to Social Security Administration. It will lay out how much it is. It's not a lot of money. It's not too good to be true. So let me tell you this. Okay, so I digress, but I do this at the risk of being called a narcissist again. So last year, the Washington Post ran a story in which they attacked veterans. They said that it's unfair that veterans get disability payments because they can still work and they should be means tested. So in other words, if you have no testicles and no legs, then if you make $150,000 a year because you're successful working, you shouldn't get any money to compensate you for the loss of your legs and your testicles and the inability to reproduce. That's what the Washington Post basically said. They compared it to Social Security disability payments, Social Security supplemental, saying that, well, people who get that, that isn't fair. They don't get as much as veterans. Well, they didn't do anything to get Social Security disability. People receive Social Security disability, didn't even have to work to get that. Many of them did work, got injured, and that's why they get it. But you don't have to work to qualify for it. Social Security disability is a payment because you're unable to work, being disabled. Veterans Administration disability payments are not because you can't work. Thank you, TJ Polkater, for the super chat. The Veterans Administration disability payments, which I get, which isn't much money, trust me, it isn't much at all. That money is to make me whole because I can't walk, because I got a prosthetic, because I'm deaf, because I'm blind, because I'm missing fingers, because I can't reproduce, because I got traumatic brain injury. It's like an insurance settlement. Insurance is intended to restore you, to make you whole by replacing a car that was totaled, by replacing a home that was damaged, repairing a home that was on fire, by paying you back for pain and suffering that someone inflicted upon you. That's the purpose of an insurance settlement. And that's what the VA disability payment is. It's to help make people injured through their service or through combat whole again. It doesn't make you whole. So, so you don't even have to work. So it's not too good to be true. It's just not a lot of money. It's not too good to be true, Jess, but it's just not a lot of money. Okay? Well, okay, we can catch up here. Okay. Has anyone received a denial letter who are not scammers? Not to my knowledge, Daegu. Not to my knowledge. And you get the letter, you got 9 days to appeal. I haven't heard from a single person who told me that. Okay, that's it. I've warned you. Where are you at? He did that at 5:12. 5:12. I'm way behind over here. Why is my chat not caught up at 5:12? Here we go. 5:12. 5:12. Where you at? I warned you. Okay. Okay. Can't follow directions, then you're going to be booted. Okay. I don't need assholes in the conversation. People are out here for legitimate analysis and questions. Thank you, Colonel Chris, again, for appreciate your time. You're welcome, Andre Mostart. Shasha, thanks, Chris. Can't wait to start a safe life. Okay. Car fan, I did. I don't know what that means. Seats might have been booked, but emails might not have been sent to notify. Who knows? Exactly, Tortoise. It may be a snafu somewhere. It happens. It happens. Also, someone might have got the instruction not to send anybody else. That, you know, because they might have erroneously got that because the year was ending. How many people do this to us package of fun? He's talking to Auxil. How was your appointment? It went well, Elsie. I mean, I'm going to have a hip replacement at some point, but the sports medicine guy agreed with me, looked at the x-ray, and said that what I'm doing now, it's up to me. I can get the injection. He thinks it's not a bad idea. He agrees. I should try it and see how it works. And if it doesn't give me relief for more than 3 months, then we should go ahead probably with the hip replacement. So I'll probably get the injection to see how it goes. When you've lost everything in Zimbabwe, move to South Africa, don't give you the South African card because it says born in Zimbabwe. Where does someone like Michelle? I don't know what you're asking. Where is your citizenship? Is you have Zimbabwean citizenship? Then you're Zimbabwean. No, Marlon Myberg. My goodness, people don't understand this process at all, even though we've covered it a million times. Marlon Myberg. Afrikaners is a contractor. They're a vendor. They provide a service to the U.S. government, and USCIS is the ones they provide the service for, and the State Department, which UCS is part of. So, or PRM, excuse me. So, if you've been contacted by Afrikaners and your process goes through, you will be in touch with USCIS because they're the ones who do the interviews. They're the ones who approve whether you go or not. The Amerikaners don't approve anything. See, y'all got to get this out of your head. I mean, people started this cock a couple months ago. Who are these Kenyans? Who are these black people to decide whether I go? Well, first off, I had a problem with that statement. That's just racist and bigotry. Damn it. Oh, my phone's fully charged. I thought it was lighting up again. So, RSC and Amerikaners don't approve anybody. They have no authority. They don't reject anybody. They screen you so that the people that interview aren't dealing with thousands or hundreds of cases. They're dealing with a discrete set that's already went through. This is a real person. The number's real. Here's the details of their situation. Now they got to be interviewed. So you will be contacted by USCIS. That you will if you go through RSC or the Amerikaners. Okay. Colonel's very aware of counterintelligence. He knows accounts are created to appear that Afrikaners and they. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, JPM. And there's a lot of that had happened. Remember that? You had these racists and black supremacists and white leftist liberals who were telling people to submit fake statements of interest. What happens to the folks who change their mind last minute? Does the U.S. government lose that flight's money? No. I covered that already, Lindy. I covered that, talked about it in the past few days after that story came out. No. The U.S. government can dictate to air carriers how it works. Why? Because they can't have a license to operate aircraft in the United States unless they comply with what the U.S. government wants. Therefore, the U.S. government doesn't lose money. They are able to book seats at a lower rate, a group discount, and they can cancel those seats last minute, and it doesn't cost money. Does that make sense? Okay. Just want to say thanks for always telling us this never changed, brother. Thank you, Warp Zone 84. Thank you. I can't believe Colonel has been covering this from the get-go. You're welcome, Digu. I've been covering it since February 7th, 2 hours after Trump announced it around 5 p.m. 2 hours. By 7:30, I was already on the air. Analyzed the Immigration Nationality Act of 1980 based on my knowledge and my experience working in embassies, working with the asylum process in America, working with refugees in Africa. And I went and I stand by my analysis. I stand by my videos. I stand by everything I said. There have been some slight misunderstandings because the way I speak English, not everybody understands it. Also, people have made assumptions and they go on the basis of one piece of information and not the full picture. I tried to do holistic. Mariska came in and said that CWS told, or RSC told people that the reason that people aren't coming is because they need this presidential determination. I said, no, that's not accurate. We need money for the program to work. She was partially correct. Ultimately, I am correct because this is great, but let's see if people get on a plane tomorrow. They probably won't. Because if this was the only thing keeping them from getting here, then tomorrow there will be people in Joburg who will be flying, or the next day, or within 3 days, there will be people flying. But it's more than that. It's complicated because we don't have a budget right now. Where's the bugger off money? He is right here. There is Bob. Seats might have been booked, but emails. Okay, are there. Okay. So truly thank for all you do. You're welcome, Del Marie. Samantha Myberg, where's the bugger up money? There he is. Okay. UCS treats everyone fair. They can work around almost anything if you're honest and don't lie to them. Again, don't lie. Don't give an active omission. Please read my message. What message, Michelle? I read your message. It was confusing. Do you have another one? I'm not going back up in the chat looking for it. I didn't see anything from you. Yours stands out because you have read something there. It got my attention. TJ, what happened to the bill that was calling for the sanctions of some ANC leaders? Okay, first off, no bill calls for that. That's not true. There are two bills. One in the House introduced in April by Ronnie Jackson from Texas, and one in July, or June or July, introduced by Senator Kennedy in the Senate. They were just attention-getting. They're not going anywhere. The one from Ronnie Jackson made it out of committee, I was surprised, in August to the floor of the House, but it hasn't been debated. It's just sitting there waiting. And I don't think it's going anywhere. The bills are not to sanction South Africa's leaders. The bills are to evaluate the relationship between the South African government and the U.S. government with an eye towards sanctioning leaders should there be something untoward. That's an accurate statement, TJ. Neither one have gone anywhere. Bills get introduced all the time. If it goes somewhere, I'll let you know about it. Valerie says, most colored people I've interacted with in my lifetime are Afrikaners. I lived in Kimberley for years, and they're all most Afrikaners there. Yep. Okay. Kenyans are the friendliest people ever. They were very supportive and kind, says Samantha. 1440's out of here. Where you going, man? You can't leave. If I become a refugee in USA, will I struggle to find a job in my field? Software engineering? Are you serious? Software engineering? Dude, why do you think we have 600,000 Indians we don't need in this country? They're software engineers. Why do you think we have H-1B visas and the whole brouhaha over that? You're not going to struggle. I mean, assuming you're not an idiot, assuming you know your job, assuming you have skills, you're not going to struggle anywhere in this country. You'll find jobs. Oh, you'll find jobs, you'll find jobs, you'll find jobs. The Kenyan that did our call was super professional and kind, says Tessa. Yep. Well, it looks, it's Cousin Bob. All right, Mustard, take care. What did Steve McCallum say that's getting this question here? I didn't see any Steve McCallum here. Thank you, Grace, for the 14 Rand. I don't dare. I must apologize. It's been covered as other racial matters. Oh my goodness. I just literally covered that. Wow. Valerie says, Francois, I know what you mean. We South Africans refer to Afrikaners a certain way, but it doesn't mean that the Americans view it the same way. Exactly. See, and that's where right-wing racists attacked me in the program back in February, March. I said, your definition doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what South Africans think an Afrikaner is. It doesn't. It's what the United States government looks at as an Afrikaner. And they aren't forthcoming on that. And I gave my description, and I got attacked. Whatever. How long will the shutdown last? Well, dynamic drip. I understand you probably need to get a visa or something like that, or something from the embassy. I don't know. It's up to the Democrats. It can end right now, but they got to vote to end it. How many votes have we got now? Okay, 453. Can we get to 500? There's still 419 people here. Please vote in the poll if you haven't voted. Okay. Threatened on a call by EFF politician. Well, I've been threatened by a politician in South Africa. Unless it's racial in nature, that doesn't mean anything. If I become a refugee and you say, okay, that already answered that question. Okay. I still don't know what Steve McCallum said. Why will you struggle? Refugees doing great. Look at Willem and Kara. They're doing fantastic. Thea's doing fantastic. Charles doing very well. Yeah, you can play the lotto and you can keep the money. Absolutely. Yeah, you can play the lotto in any state. Yeah, there's no requirement for this. Oh, there's Michelle. If you're born in Zimbabwe, you cannot get the card ID. You have to carry the old green ID book. So I'm asking, what now? Okay, again, Michelle, I don't know what to tell you. What do you mean it's not like you don't exist? Where is your citizenship? Where is your passport? I don't care about an ID. We don't accept South African IDs to come to America. You have to have a passport to enter the country. You have to have a passport to leave South Africa. Where is your passport? If you have a Zimbabwean passport, then you're a Zimbabwean citizen. If you have a South African passport, then you're a South African citizen. I don't care about ID cards. Were you wrapped around the axle about ID cards? It has nothing to do with anything. Do you have a South African passport? Are you a South African citizen? Were you naturalized a South African citizen? That's the question. There's more than 7,500 open IT jobs in Texas. I guarantee that. Skulk the Cleric says, thank you for always keeping us updated, not sugarcoat anything, telling us when you know. Well, not everybody appreciates that, Skulk. I get lots of abuse and lots of lies from know-nothing idiots that run around and say terrible things about me. But you know what? Leaders don't shirk from responsibility. And I didn't ask to lead any movement. And I'm certainly not doing it, but I'm certainly not going to sit back and let people be misinformed by cock prodders. Would it be possible to ask FT to post a regular Afghanistan? No, I'm not doing that. We did that crap. I mean, that time is come and gone. I have devoted thousands of hours of my life to this. And if you all can't be bothered to go back and watch, go to the playlist of all the videos and start back at the beginning. If you can't be bothered with that, then it's unfair to ask me to continue doing that. But I understand where you come from, but I'm not going to do that. I did that. Okay. Do we know for a fact from the U.S. government is going to send Yes, of course they'll be at the G20. Of course they'll be there. We're members of G20. The question is, will the president be there? No. Will the vice president be there? Possibly. Of course we're going to be at the G20. It's being handed over to us. We have to have somebody to receive the baton. It's like a relay race. Got to hand it over. They'll be, of course the U.S. is going to be there. It's a question of what level delegation goes. Could you please tell me what medical condition you get denied in the refugee program? I'm not aware of any medical condition. Hey, Fabian, thank you for 39 Rand. I don't know what any medical condition would deny you. The only thing I know is that if you have active things, you're not coming over until it's taken care of. So if you have active tuberculosis, you're not getting on a plane. We can't put you in a plane. That's liability. You infect all the people on the plane. You can't fly with active tuberculosis. You can't enter America with active tuberculosis. If you have latent tuberculosis, you can come over. If you have syphilis and gonorrhea, you're not coming over. You're not spreading that stuff. But those two things are cured with antibiotics in just a matter of short time. So, I mean, I'm not aware of any condition. So I guess you're getting at, if I have cancer, can I come over? Yes, you can. That doesn't stop you. If you have, chronic conditions, come over. Yeah. This again, it's not an immigration program. We don't go, all right, line up here on the pier. We're going to take refugees out. Oh, you're a hottie. You look like Sydney Sweeney. Put her on the boat. Oh, you're a cripple. I'm sorry. We're not taking cripples. You have to be murdered here. So you stay. Oh, yes, you look like you can do some good hard labor. You can get on the boat. Well, she's hot too. Let's get her on the boat. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It isn't immigration. Get that shit out of your head. It's not immigration. It's people suffering unjust racial persecution. So as far as a medical condition, it's only something that's transmissible. And why would that matter? Because the U.S. government has an obligation to protect me and 330 million other Americans. Unlike the criminal aliens who pour across our border during the corrupt Biden regime and invaded our country, bringing measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, bringing that crap to our shores illegally. Those who get vetted in this country cannot be coming in here with, if you have malaria right now, you're not coming over. You're not coming here with malaria until it's over. I hope that makes sense. Okay? Yeah. But it's not immigration. They have an obligation to protect this country, and they have a moral obligation to process people to come over whose life is in jeopardy. I hope that explains it. Okay. Okay. Could you please tell me what, okay, I already got that. And then Fabian gave 40 Rand. I already did that. Okay. Yeah, Benj wants to know, are your parents South African born? Mine were, hence I got a South Africa birth certificate a few months ago. Go home affairs. There you go. Okay, thank you. Benj, maybe you answered her question. Andre Nell, Lola, welcome to you. Hey, Lola, what's going on? And sorry, it said 140 Rand. Ooh, clouds are gathering, ta-ta, in the distance. Actually, it's a sunny sky. We had rain earlier today. It's all cleared out, but the clouds are gathering on the super chats. Thank you for that. You sound exactly like UCI self-explain. Okay, I got to go back to that. Okay, Michelle Mayer, you have a South African passport. South African government only issues passports to, wait for it. Okay, wait for it. Now, Michelle, I'm not making fun of you, okay? This is for the audience. South African government issues passports to illegal aliens? No. Permanent residents? No. Guess who they issue passports to? South African citizens. Bingo! You've won. Michelle, you won the lottery. At least that version of it. You are a South African citizen if you have a passport. Okay, now somebody probably say, Chris, you're full of it. No, we give passports to terrorists. I don't know. Maybe that's true. No, but governments issue passports to their citizens. You can't issue a passport to a non-citizen unless it's a clandestine program where you're slipping spies in and out. Maybe you're Jason Bourne. You know, he had a Canadian passport, a British passport, an Irish passport, an Italian passport. His name was Pietro for the passport. Jason Bourne. But Jason Bourne is a novel. It's fiction. There you go. Okay. All right. My chat went back again. Stop doing this. Philip Holt said I sound exactly like a USCIS officer explaining things. Funny that, isn't it, Philip? But thank you. You've obviously met the USCIS officer. But thank you. Thank you. Boy, these glasses are really not cooperating today. They just keep falling down. Okay. Dynamic Drip took something down. Nadine, how can we apply for a bank account in America while you're still in South Africa? Do you think PayPal is doable? PayPal is imminently doable. So is a number of other things, including Wise. You can do PayPal. Yeah. How do you apply for a bank account in America? Have to have a Social Security number. Without a Social Security number, you don't exist. Can't have a bank account in America without a Social Security number. But then you can apply online. But you got to have a U.S. address. U.S. address and a Social Security number. So if you've got a friend in America that you trust, you can use for the address, and you have a Social Security number, boom, shakalaka, go online, apply for a bank account. Done and dusted. Rudy's out of here. Take care. Bianca Funderlinde, my daughter went to the first patrol interview yesterday. She said RC person asked her twice about past persecution. She said she doesn't have past persecution, and he said he will jog her memory. Well, she probably has past persecution and doesn't realize it. That's what he was probably getting at. And limp giraffe neck, just reiterate what I said. But you also have to include Social Security number in there. Love it. What is this? Love it when he gets all close. Hey, Shawnee. Just Chill says, thanks for everything. Approved and ready to go. There you go. Okay. All right. How many people we got now? 474 votes. Can we get a few more votes? We got 376 people still here. I want to get to 500, so it's a representative sample. Okay. All right. Narina says, may I please come trim your beard? Michelle. You can't chat me up. That's not fair. My beard will be getting trimmed. I meant to trim it today. So I was headed to the Veterans Organization to check in on progress there, and then the barbershop today. Didn't make it because of this breaking news. So I'm on here doing this. So no barbershop for me today. No beard trim. No haircut. This is like hippie long hair. I don't like hippie long hair. It's time for a haircut. Plus, I'm a judge of elections on Tuesday. By the way, if you watch the program on Tuesday, there'll be no broadcast. I will be doing judge stuff from 6 a.m. until 11:30 at night. And then I usually do a stream after that. Okay. Good night, expat family. People expect me to speak fluent Afrikaans, born in Pretoria, but moved to Natal. But Afrikaans was my first subject in school English. Well, Karen, okay, but that's not germane. In South America, they issue ID cards to anyone from another African country if the price is right. Well, that would be an ID card, not a passport. Okay? You have to be patient, waited 2 months for the call. Some others waited longer. You can reply to the email they sent and give them alternative numbers to call. Okay? Bigger in Texas, you have to be present in America to apply. And don't. No, that's not true. That's not true, bigger in Texas. That is factually incorrect. I have applied for bank accounts living overseas. I'm an American with a Social Security number and a U.S. address. I applied online for bank accounts overseas. So it can be done. Can be done. I've done it. So I've got a lot of bank accounts. None of them have any money, but I have a lot of bank accounts. This bank account is $10. This one has $20. This one has $5. That one has $200. I have a lot of bank accounts, but no money. Well, Halloween was supposed to be tonight. The kiddies were supposed to be ringing the doorbell right now. But the rain postponed the events in many communities here in central Pennsylvania until tomorrow. Tomorrow I will probably miss Halloween because I will be going down to the courthouse to collect my bag for the election tomorrow. All right. You're very welcome, buddy. You're very welcome. And Charles Van Alt's the voice of reasons here. All right. Let me see how the poll is doing. 483. Can we get 17 more people to vote in this poll, please? 17 more people. That'd be great. And by the way, while you're at it, 372 of you sitting there watching this program and only 342 likes. That's just wrong. Come on. Listen to your previous video on PD and your uncertainty around Indians. I'm Indian. I was scheduled to leave on the 30th. Darren, I think you should relax. If you have a provisional letter, it's not going to be revoked. You'll be coming. Darren, I would relax if I were you. There's no reason that we have to believe that you're not coming over. Okay? People should start focusing on the bigger picture. That is getting the safety, period. It's not a holiday planning. Exactly. Be prepared to start over and work hard. We are Afrikaners or what? Well, I don't know, TM Afrikaner. There's been a lot of people writing me belly aching about this and belly aching about that and telling me they're entitled to this and why don't I get food stamps and why don't I get this and that. It doesn't sound to me like people that are self-starters and ready to pitch up. And, of course, I've been called an Afrikaner hater by someone on the program who called me a narcissist and Afrikaner hater, and he's out of here. So I don't know what to say. I mean, that person doesn't get the messages I receive every single day. The vast majority of people that just want to relocate and stand up on their own 2 feet. But I get a lot of belly aching, trust me. And my patience is epic. So 140 Rand, thank you for that super chat. Oh, Bigger in Texas is saying, shh. Gotcha. Exactly. Safety is my concern. Fear for my life, my family. Well, I got you, Dynamic Drip, and I don't know. I assume you put in a statement of interest some time ago, and I don't know the progress of where you're at. You rock, says Samantha. Well, thank you for that, Samantha. And we're at still at 487. I guess that's all we're going to get. I'm going to wrap it up there then. The poll. The poll is over now. 488. Okay, can I go a bit longer? Okay, I can't go anywhere. I've been holding on to accept my universal offer, but haven't been contacted. Hopefully I still can go. Colonel Cookie, why don't you just go to university, and if they offer you and you get a chance to get out, just leave? I mean, I don't understand that. So let me ask you this. First off, South Africa's universities suck. Oh, he didn't just say that. Oh my God, he hates South Africa. He said they suck. Well, they do. Only one is rated in the top 200 universities in the world. Only one. One. The rest are below 200. They suck. They used to be fantastic, world class. Stellenbosch, UCT, Rhodes, even UNISA, world ranking. They suck. They're shit. They're garbage. So, if you have an offer to go to university in South Africa, go ahead and do it. But don't stop and wait. If you want to come, put it in. If you get approved, then leave. You leave in the middle of a semester, big whoop. Big freaking whoop-de-doo. Come to America, go to real university. Willem and Kara's daughter is 19. She's attending university in Idaho. Right now. She's in university. Studying, I think, psychology or something like that. Look at that. She got a car. It's a crappy car in appearance, but it operates. It's safe to operate. She got a car. She goes to university. By the way, her university is in walking distance. If my hip wasn't bad, I could walk to university every day from her house. So why don't you do that? I don't understand this. People's priorities are up. If your life is in jeopardy, if you're suffering from persecution, you're worried you're going to be murdered, why are you talking about building a farm or building this or doing that or waiting 3 years to get married? Either you're in jeopardy or not. Either shit or get off the pot. Stop being a draadsitter. Did I hurt anybody's feelings? You're right, Martin. They're not known for patience. And Buddy's been waiting for a long time. Dirk Kutsia doubled your back of Buddy? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's talk about that. Where's that at? Here it is, Charles back of Buddy. Last I saw it was 21,000. Let's see what Dirk did. Whoa! Dirk Kutsia gave $1,000. Damn! Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a hand for Dirk? I mean, you just making me look like a piker there. All right, Dirk, you're not making me look good, man. Here is the back of Buddy for Charles Van Olsen, $1,000. Oh, my goodness. Dirk, we're going to have to get you to be a donor for our veterans organization to save it from going under. All right, folks, there it is. Go check it out. Wow. Wow, Dirk Kutsia, man. PayPal fees are high, but they're not as high as MoneyGram and Western Union, which are just ripoff. So there's other ways to do it, okay? Okay. Wow, my goodness. $1,000. Didn't you say you would shave clean for 100,000 subs? I don't remember. No, that was at a certain time. We set a date for that, and we didn't hit the date. That's what that was. Yeah, I remember saying that, but it was a date. By the way, the truth report is not at 1,000 or 100,000, so that's going to suck. I'm not going to get Rob Hersoff to pay for my damn ticket. The deal was if 100,000 people, they reach 100,000 on the truth report before the end of October, and that's tomorrow. And they're at 99,000. We need 600 people to sign up tomorrow. 600 people tomorrow, folks. 600 people tomorrow. Yep. 600 people tomorrow. Yep. So they're at 99,400. So if we can get people to sign up, that'd be great. But it hasn't happened fast enough yet. All right. Let me check out the poll. All right. We got the poll. I'm ending it. 508 votes. There you go. Okay, cool. Let's see what comes up now. All right. So I'm going to bring this up on the screen. I just got to make an image of it real quick. Okay. Half of you have never been contacted who have sent in that's a little concerning. All right. But I mean, I don't know. Some of you were May 12th. Some of you were August. Some of you are July. But from my perspective, that's a little bit concerning. It just shows you the volume of interest in this program. And that's what I believe. So let's go over here. Put this on the screen. All right. Can't go too big because it gets kind of grainy. Okay. Here we go. All right. So this is the result of the poll that we put up with 500. I wanted to represent a sample. 500 is good enough for a sample in this case. Right. There's my screen. There we go. Okay. So you're awaiting initial contact from the U.S. government. 49% of you. So that means about 254 people are waiting or 250 are waiting. 27% are in the screening process. That's interesting. So that would be 27 times 5. That's 135 people are already being processed. And complete awaiting departure, 15%. That's actually a very encouraging number. 15%. So that means 15 times 2 is 30. That's 60. That's 76 people are already done. So that's 10% of or 12% of the total that were reported in the media last week. Wow, look at that. Are actually watching my program. That's incredible. So, wow. 75 of the 700 people are actually watching this program at this hour tonight. And 49% are waiting contact. 9% are not interested in the program, did submit an SOI. That's fine. That's 50 people. So it means most people watching the program are here for the refugee program. It also means that 50 of you just want to watch my content. Thank you for that. I'm very grateful that you watch my content, even if you're not interested in the refugee program, because this was a refugee stream. What has happened to the bill? Okay, that's way behind. Okay, let me catch up over here. I really thought the truth report would have made it by now. It's not. It needs 600 more. People should appreciate the help President Trump is giving and stop complaining. Exactly, Lola. I agree. I know there was a white girl from Pretoria recently had 97 average and refused to. Yeah, well, there's a white guy who had a 99% average on his matric, and he was denied entrance to UCT a couple years ago. Crazy. South African universities suck. I just didn't want to waste money paying for a year, and some credits might not transfer. I got you, Colonel Cookie, but is your life in jeopardy, or are you just trying to immigrate? That's the question you have to ask yourself, okay? Charles Van Alsten's in all of the Charity of the Wyatt Army. Yeah, I'm in all of Dirk Coetzee, man. And I'm like, yeah, Dirk's giving some nice super chats on here, but I haven't seen anything like that. I'm teasing. I'm not angling. I'm just teasing, okay? Relax, guys. I'm just teasing. That is very generous, Dirk. That is incredible. We're prepared to leave all our belongings and fly U.S. when called. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Clinton. That's someone who believes their life's in jeopardy. Have been contacted, sent a statement of interest and applied shortly after it opened anyway. Okay, MJ, I hope they contact you. Don't know, flirt, I can only trim the beard. Well, it seemed to me like she was chatting me up. I'm just saying. I am here for both watching a program and for the updates. Well, thank you, Nadine. I appreciate that. And Hendo says, Ista, Dirk, donkey. Yep. Got to hit sacks, says Daniel. Okay, well, that look, I'm flabbergasted. That's incredible. That's very generous of him. 38,000. That means we're almost halfway there to what Charles needs. We still got a ways to go. Dirk and Marion gave 200 Rand. Every single donation counts. Exactly. Ludwig gave 1,000 yesterday, and now Dirk gave 1,000 frickin' dollars, man. I'm looking like a piker here, man. I mean, it's like I didn't give anything after that. I think I gave 1,000 Rand too. Oh, my goodness. I'm gonna, I can't keep up with Dirk. I'm not getting paid tomorrow. Neil says, I hope to bless you with a new truck and a hefty PayPal bonus. Well, that would be awesome. I haven't even looked at my PayPal in a while. Let's just see if anybody's donating PayPal. Because people do, and I just, PayPal. Hopefully it's got my password in there because PayPal, come on. There you go. Because the damn thing was dropping all my passwords. Okay, it's logging in. Oh, it doesn't. There we go. All right. Password was there. I just had to put the right username in. Okay, my PayPal. Let's see if anybody's donated anything recently. Doesn't look like it. Oh, no, I got something October 13th. Oh, that was from, yeah, okay. Yeah. I think that was from Ludwig. Ludwig's been giving money all along in here. He's gave 10 and $60, then $20, and he gave $250 last time. Thank you so much for that. It's really kind. Do we help? Every little bit was helped. Yep. I want to see if we can somehow make it work with what we have so far. All right. Well, let us know, Charles. But let's still try to help him. Okay. I've been selected for the PayPal Cashback MasterCard. Ooh. Ooh, the PayPal. That's not what I want. I don't want to fight friends. I want the PayPal card. You guys are offering me a credit card. Select it. Let's check that out. Let's see. Alley Cat says, I don't agree that 50% in the process, right? I've done pyramid sign a few hours and it was announced. Okay, Alley Cat, no one said 50%. It's 50% of those who answered the question tonight. Be clear. 50% answered the question tonight. Kronje Sten, what's going on, man? I have to be flattered. Well, I am flattered, Michelle. I assume you're a super hot born, I see. Okay. MJ says thanks. All right, you're very welcome. No interest if paid full in 6 months on purchase of $149 when checking out with PayPal. Wow, that's pretty cool. No credit score impact if declined. Interest will be charged to your account from the purchase date. The balance is not paid within 6 months. Plan your perfect getaway. Okay. No minimum purchase required. Includes flights, hotels, cars, and more. Shop everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Okay. Special financing, PayPal, and credit cards. Okay. New accounts, man, 34% interest rate. That's insane. Issued by Synchrony Bank. Decision in seconds. Well, they won't have a decision for me because there's a lock on my credit because someone tried to steal my identity a few years back and I locked it up. So you can't apply for a credit card unless they prove it's me. Charlene says, I'm not flirting at all, just like to get the point. We would go crazy, repeat myself all the time. Shame, poor Chris. Did you see Leader Thune lost his temper? No, I didn't see that, Neil. I mean, I've been busy with this, dealing with this situation now for 4 hours. And like I said, it was supposed to be time this afternoon. I was going to have time to work on that finance thing and also take a few hours to myself and get something to snack on. I was actually going to read some magazines I bought earlier, but now I can't do it. Yep. Wife was contacted, but not me, okay? All right. Wow, Dirk, that's incredible, man. That's absolutely incredible. So the Truth Report, 99,400 subscribers. Damn. Need 600 more. Not going to make it, folks. Not going to make it. Right on the verge. Watch. Probably on November 1st or 2nd, they'll get 2,000 or 3,000 more. I can be lulled into a false sense of security where I stay neighborhood relatively quiet, but still don't sleep through the night. Dr. Z, you're very welcome. Thanks. I love that avatar. That's like super cool, man. So all these out there who thinks it's anyway. All right. So let me just go back and check on a few things here very quickly. Oh, we went over 500. That took a little while. Man, oh man, oh man. That took a little while. 113,509. We haven't grown in ages on this channel. That's let me see. So today it looks like we might have gained a few subscribers. We're kind of tottering along slowly. Live count. Okay, let me see. Live count. So today we started at 453. That means we gained 47 and 9 is 56. Wow, that's the most we've gained a single day in a while now. I mean, that's not a lot, but that's something. And we were tottering along with just 300 views per hour last night. And today with 3,400, 6,000 when I came on, 4,300. That's good. Cool beans. So we do appreciate people coming here. And is yesterday's, no, still haven't got yesterday's revenue up yet. I'm looking to see if it did because I'm on the verge of beating last month by $1 or $2. But I need a little bit more. So we'll see. I don't know if we're going to make it. Maybe tomorrow we can make it and beat last month, but it's still a lot less than back in May. And it's all because of the ad revenue. Now ad revenue is the third largest revenue supplier for the channel. It was the biggest for months there. People watching the program. If I join the Navy, how quick will it expire? If you are a foreign national who serves honorably in the U.S. military after 3 years, basically an enlistment normally, but they have 4 and 5 year and 6 year enlistments, but 3 years, you are eligible to apply for citizenship normally. So there you go. As a refugee who's here, normally at the 5-year point, you can apply for citizenship. Mission South, I hope you get you back enough subs. Yeah, no, we need more subs, Lindy. Okay, I'm new here in the process for the UCI. Okay, I don't know what that means. You're new here on the channel. I got that. Are you in the process? Is that what you're saying? The people in the chat for the pre-screening in Pretoria, do they just gathering info or do you discuss persecution? It's a combination of things, Limp Giraffe. They're going to ask you questions. They're also going to fill in some blanks. And here's some advice I've given to people. You need to pay attention. I'm not coaching you. You can't coach you for your interview. You can't prepare for this. You need to be honest and consistent, okay? So they're going to be looking for that. I am an investigator. I'm a counterintelligence agent. I've interrogated people. And when I ask people questions in interviews, I guarantee you that many times I already know what the answer is. I'm just looking to see if you're truthful and also maybe fill in some details. And it may lead me to experiment and go further in the conversation. They're doing the exact same thing. I've had several people who've come in the chat and people who've contacted me privately said, boy, Colonel Wyatt, they knew stuff about me that I was shocked they knew. Yep. First contact from Afrikaners in October. Complete email, receive unique ID, awaiting next step. Hope we are within the cap amount. I think you'll be fine. Sang Hivan, I'm going to guess that you're Indian. You don't have to answer that question, but proving once again that it's not just for white South Africans. Missed your meet and greets in Cape Town when you were in USA last time. Really wish to shake your hand one day, and thank you. Well, Neil, yeah, haven't we met before, Neil? I thought we met. Maybe I'm just imagining that. So I did Somerset West. I did Strand. I did Blauberg Strand. I did, so those are all Cape Town, and I did Woodbridge Island. I did 4 meet and greets all right around Cape Town last time. Yep. I think next time I'm going to do one at Zorgfleet in Stellenbosch. We'll do one there. Yeah, that'd be cool. What's Alana's question? Yes, you are. See, I thought so based on the name. Congratulations. See, it's not just white folks, even though the media is going to run with that story tomorrow. So what did Alana say? Blixum. I answered your question. I don't see Alana's comment, so all right. The Eunice. Not everyone are eligible to pack up and leave. Some of us have to now play the cards we're dealt. That's true, Eunice. Not everybody's eligible. That's true. 5 months, says Marius Cronier. I hope you get called. Well, I'm getting a number of people that tell me that they put stuff back into May and they're getting contacted. So hopefully that's the case for you. I still don't see a lot. Das Mahler, you're a painter. Extremely sad that such progress is even necessary. Well, look, brother, I'm with you there, or sister. Yeah, again, I don't encourage anybody to leave South Africa. That's the whole misnomer. People think that I'm telling people to leave. No, I don't ask you to leave. I understand where people are coming from. I understand the horrors that you must go through that have to, make this decision to leave. I would not want to be put in that situation. I get it 100%. I get it 100%. I appreciate where you're coming from. South Africa is such great potential, such amazing people, Afrikaners, English speakers, Portuguese, Germans, Xhosa, Tswana, Sotho, lots of amazing people, and amazing vistas and scenery, and such immense potential. And it's been crapped on by malgovernance. It's a shame. It's a shame. Awkward Leon is just here for me. Well, thank you, Awkward Leon. I'm just here for you, brother. I'm just here for you. Just here for you. Diane Humpel. I like that new truck idea. How do I sign up for that? Okay. Right. I never did see what Alana was asking about. The Victorian Alfred waterfront doesn't work very well because it's too much going on there. It's hard to focus. If I stayed at the Commodore or one of the hotels there, which are expensive, we could do it there. But yeah, no, there is nothing controversial about the U.S. preferring refugees that will assimilate and contribute to society. None whatsoever. But the leftists will not be happy about that. Hendo has put the refugee playlist up there. Thank you for that, Hendo. You got to go way back to February to get the ones to talk about benefits and stuff like that. Now, some of that's been overcome. Yeah, the V8A waterfront is very public, and so we don't necessarily want to do it there. Yep. Charles says Stalin's purges in the 30s and Mao's long walk, his cultural revolution. Maybe we're seeing the same thing. I don't know. It seems like that. Anyway. I was at 2 in Western Cape when I got the privilege of being in the USA. Hopefully we'll meet again. Yes, Lindy. Yeah, anyway. So, guys, we've got the poll. We've got it. Come on, let's push it up the reviews to this stream before I end it to 3,000. We're at 2916. People need to tune in. Vede now. Hey. See, someone just popped in here. There's another person. What's the link for the WhatsApp group? Well, the WhatsApp groups, I mean, Marius, they're not full now. Let me go look. The WhatsApp groups are not full now because a lot of people dropped out of them recently. Okay, I got 2 groups, and group 2 has just 975 members. So if you want to join, this is group 2. Copy link, but you can't comment there. This is not for you to cockprot. This is just for information. So only my moderators and myself can post in the group. So if that's okay with you, some people are happy about that because nobody can come in and spew nonsense. So that's group 2. I can take 50 people in that right now. So yeah, because a whole bunch of people left recently. I hope that's not a reflection on me. And the first one can take 24. So copy the link. Okay, this is the first one. So that's the original one I did. They both get exactly the same things. My mods and I put everything in there. Most of what goes in there should be just the stuff that comes that's related to refugee programs. So there you go. So that's 2. So if anybody wants to join, there they are. Watch this puppet for quite a while, and I love him a bit. Straightforward on a point, but still want to trim his beard. Alana says, please help. Okay, there's no chat groups. The best updates with no chat, or so no cockprot. Charles, I don't know, but as I said earlier, I don't think you're here. You're busy collecting your $1,000 from Dirk Garcia. You're busy watching your backup buddy. My anticipation is I would not be surprised, if by the end of this fiscal year we see that number actually higher than 7,000. I'm just saying. Okay. Some crabs, that'd be great, Neil. But if you don't get here soon, it's going to have to wait until the spring, until April, maybe March, late March. Anyway, yeah. So can someone join the military at age 35? Yes, Martin Garçal, you can. Every service has a different age limit. Normally, it's about 34. Over 34. That's usually what it is. So every service has its own limit. Yep. Anyway, so yeah. So there you go. Let me see if anybody wants to join these groups. Okay, somebody. What's with the unknown number? Why are you giving me unknown numbers? I don't like unknown numbers. Why are you hiding your number? But I'm going to assume that you're good people. Okay, so only 3 or 4 people in each group right now. So I'm going to prove the unknown numbers because you can't comment, so it's okay. Members. Okay, that one's done. Members. Okay, wait a second. Okay, pending request. Okay, I didn't even know you could hide your numbers there. That's interesting. So I'd like to know how you can do that. Okay, they're both full. So we got 3 join one group and a few join the other group. So there you go. There you go, folks. Neil's off to bed. We're at 2950, so didn't quite get 3,000. I'm going to wrap it up. I think so too. It'll be more than 7,500. Well, the 7,500 includes like 500 from Europe, judging by the amount of people saying they're already in the process. Yeah, exactly. I'm late. I have to watch from the start. I had to stop to pick up meat for cheese griller sandwiches. He means brookies. Charles slept through most of the day. Okay, all right. Sorry if I missed the start. Did you have your doctor's appointment? I did, Krista. Thank you for your concern. I appreciate that. So some people were very concerned. Some people asked after me when they came in. It's very polite and considerate of you. I called the acting club manager earlier for the Veterans Organization, and my first concern was how did it go at the cemetery because her brother died on Monday, and I found out yesterday. So I said, how did it go at the cemetery? Then I got into business. So thank you. Very considerate of you. My appointment went well. I mean, it is what it is. And I'll have to get the hip replaced at some point. But right now, he agrees that the injection should be something I should try. You better, not a proper solution, Joe Tex. It's just a fix for now. But I mean, I'm not in a rush to get this thing done. But the irony, as I said, is if I go and get the hip replaced, then I get a higher disability payment because I have a prosthetic. That's crazy. No, I don't know when I'll get feedback. I said it will take at least a week or so. So I don't know when my next appointment is with that doctor. So we'll have to see. All right. Alana says, last try. YouTube keeps unsubscribing me. They deleted views and likes. I sent you a WhatsApp with a screen recording as proof. Thank you, Alana. Okay. Are you listed under that? Let's see. I got a request to join here. Let me take care of that. That one's in. Okay. This group. Members. No. Okay. So that takes care of all that. Let me go back for it. Let me see if I can find Alana. Come on. That's Salana, not Alana. There you go. Okay.
Hello, Colonel Chris. I just wanted to...
Okay, can I play this? May I show it? May I show that, Alana? I need your permission. Yeah, no, they do this to a lot of people. Yes, Lynn, it's cortisone injection. It goes into the hip joint. Dogzilla wants to know if his timeout's over. It's over. I didn't give you a long one, Dogzilla. You were acting foolish. I asked you to stop it. People are here for real reasons. So when one is young, you fall asleep in the same position, wake up, no issues. When you get older, you have to turn like a rotisserie chicken. That's funny. Probably very true. All right, Alana, may I play? Yes, I can play it. Okay, all right. So let me download that, Alana. Let me download this video. So, okay. All right, so I'm going to play this real quick. I haven't heard it, so I'm just nothing but trust here. So, okay, and I hope there's nothing that compromises any information for you because... Okay, in a second. Refresh. Okay, now where's it at? Oh, why do you do this to me, YouTube? Oh, my goodness. There it is, okay.
Hello, Colonel.
Okay, so this is about 2:48, so let's bear with us, okay? This is from Alana. She's talking about being unsubscribed repeatedly. So, Hendo, this happened to you a lot, so here we go.
Hello, Colonel Chris. I just wanted to show you this. So this is my only account.
What a lovely voice. Guys, is that not a lovely voice? What a lovely voice.
The only YouTube account that I have. The only place that I watch YouTube videos from. My Alana Roots account. If I look at my view history, none of your videos are here. I subscribed to your channel. I've been unsubscribed. The view history of your videos have all been deleted. I like every one of your videos. All the likes have been taken away. As you can see here, there's none of your videos here. Every like on your videos have been removed. My subscription has been removed. This is the 4th time I've been unsubscribed and the likes have been removed. I can give you details of every single details of things within your videos to show that I've watched your content. So I've yet again, for the 4th time, I've been unsubscribed. You know that if a video has been watched, there will be a red line here. All right, I haven't watched this one, but all of the videos from here on downwards, I have watched, and I have liked every single video. You can see there are no red lines to show that I've watched them. And I can show you the likes have been removed. It's easier to show you on the shorts.
Good evening, South Africa and folks around the world. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Apparently today...
There's no like on the shorts as well.
During his confirmation
No
hearing...
like.
If you
I watch every single one of your videos, every single live, even if it's belatedly, every single short, every single video. None of them shows up as watched in my watched history. I've been unsubscribed as well, as I said. I noticed this because I went to your account details to check the email address to make sure that the email I sent is going to go to the right email address about trying to help Maz, your moderator, with her clinical trial information. Thank you for facilitating the contact detail sharing there as well. I'm just surprised and quite shocked. I don't understand why YouTube does this. There's none of my view history or my likes are here, and I've been unsubscribed as well. There, I've resubscribed. Keep well, Colonel Chris.
All right, so Alana, may I use that video? Is that okay with you? I mean, do you mind if I use that video? See, that's what I'm talking about. That's shadow banning. That's not a mistake. That's intentional. That's why this channel doesn't have the reach that it should have. And you'll notice that the Washington Compost runs stories and doesn't reference me, and Cockprot24 references stories and doesn't list my site. The New York Times ran an article in which they talked about an interview and they lied about it, or the Washington Post, and they didn't even give a link to me. Who can I report it to, Lindy? Who? Trump? I mean, they're a private company. They can do what they want. It is what's been going on this channel all along. Hendo. People think I'm making this. Hendo is a moderator. He's been a moderator since the outset. He was like the second moderator I ever picked after Kyle Green ZA. And Hendo in one day was unsubscribed 4 times as a moderator on my channel. Thank you. This is what I've been asking for, evidence. And people tell me all the time anecdotally, I can use that. If Lana says I can use the video, it is shadow banning. Why? Because they take instructions from crooks and criminals in government and other leftist hate wankers, and they do it this. Shugsy says, uninstall and reinstall YouTube. No data will be lost. Well, why should you have to uninstall the program and reinstall it every time that they uninstall you? Because when you're not subscribed, you're not getting notifications. If you have no history of going to my channel, you won't get videos. Why should it be a burden on my viewers to have to uninstall or reinstall or delete cookies or something like that all the time? And Yaku Joubert says it's happened to me many times. And Liddy says she only gets notifications of Refugee Group. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, look, I haven't complained about this in a while because it gets frustrating and annoying. I will post that video everywhere, but I'm going to make a video over top of it and then play it. Does that make sense? So that it's not just that video, okay? Dan von Zale. Thank you for your membership, Dan. That's very kind of you. And Marlene says, I never get notified. I cannot open your group WhatsApp. Then join Telegram. Telegram, Michelle. Unless you just tried to apply to it, Michelle. Let me see. Thank you, Alana. That's very awesome of you. I appreciate that. So someone requested to join. I got one request to join that. Okay, they're approved. And I got another one over here. One request there. So I've let about 10 people in here so far. That's a dude. So I don't know who that is. Anyway. All right. So everyone's up to date now. I've joined 1, 2, 3, 4 in that group. And then this group here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So about 9 people joined the groups. Okay, cool. Cool. Yaku Joubert. Thank you for your membership. But you've been there a long time. Dan is brand new. Charlene says YouTube does exactly the same. I struggle, my TV, okay. Struggle to show my family of videos of refugee information. Then I must sit on my phone and show one by one. And you've got YouTube Premium. See, that's just bullshit. That's just bullshit that they do that. Yeah, I saw she answered the question. She gave me permission. Yep, you may use just delete the black out the personal message. What personal message? They didn't say personal message. Did I miss something? Received a very weird email earlier. I'm very worried about it. Also, not sure what to do about it. It says it's me again. Different name, email address created. Just ignore it, Retha. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. You know, paying attention to it. I think what Chuck is getting at, if it's an app issue, I watch on PC. I have no such issues. I have such issues, Francois. I am subscribed to Morning Shot. All notifications. I receive 0 notifications for it on my PC, in my email, or on my phone. The only place you're supposed to be getting notifications of videos anymore is on your app on the phone. That's what YouTube changed to 3 years ago. Not personal message, just delete or black out my personal info. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Thank you for everything you do for everyone. You're welcome. We need more people like you in the world. Well, I agree. Titus says something for YouTube to put their pipes and smoke it. Yeah, well, I'm going to have fun with this one. So, yeah, we'll do something on that. But I mean, that's been going on forever. I've been telling people about this forever. Anyway, Retha says, I will do. Yeah, Retha, I get all kinds of stuff. I mean, you got to be careful. People are trying to trick you all the time. I get stuff that looks real. You know, your bank, this, that, and the other, or you know, your TSA pre, you know, it's due or something like that. I get all kinds of stuff. Just ignore it if you don't know where it comes from. Del Marie says, thank you. Valued. Have a great rest. Okay, we're at 3,000 plus. Okay, folks, it's been 2 hours. I'm going to wrap it up with that song again. This one was from JJ. Was it from JJ did this? I'm trying to remember. Was this Mad Max? I think it might have been Mad Max. On PC and phone, I don't get notifications. I have to set an alarm for the lives. Exactly. Don't trust their notifications are on a WhatsApp group. Yeah, you probably should join the Telegram group or WhatsApp. Well, that's why my view count. Oh, that is exactly why, Atlanta. I know why. They're not promoting it, and it's annoying. My content hasn't gotten worse. In fact, it's gotten more detailed and better, arguably. Yep. Anyway, all right. So here it is. This is the song, and this song is what the hell is it called? Waiting on the Call. Okay.
Thanks, guys. Be sure to hit the like button before you leave, okay? And thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the new members. Thanks for the 3,100 viewers. Thanks for your patience and not taking offense when I explain things or calling me a narcissist. Thank you all for that. Yeah, well, we were on 112 for over a month. Yep. We didn't gain 1,000. It took 2 months to get another 1,000. So it's been stuck for a while. Yep. Proof positive. Thank you, Alana. That's very helpful. All right, guys. Cheers. Here you go. Waiting on the call. This is an epic song. Love it.
I've walked through shadows, miles from home. Dreams in my pocket, stealing my soul. They tried to break me, they drew their lines, but my voice still rises through their lies. Every scar's a story, every wound's a flame, and I still stand. You'll know my name. When the call will come, I will rise, I will stand. With my heart in the fire, my hope in my hand. You can't silence me.
You can't silence me.
I was born to be free.
I am free. So will you be.
Through the storm, through the fight, I'll ride my destiny. They said, wait your turn. They turned away. But my faith grows louder every day. You can shut your doors. You can hide your eyes. But the dream in me never dies. Every border I cross, every mountain I climb, I carry my people, I carry my time. When the call will come, I will rise, I will stand. With my heart in the fire, my hope in my hand. You can't silence me. I was born to be free. Through the storm, through the fight, I'll ride my destiny. We are the dreamers. We are the brave. The world will remember the paths we paved. You can paint us in shadows, but light will show. We are the roots that always grow. When the call will come, we will rise as one. Every voice, every color beneath the sun. You can't silence truth. You can't bury the free.
No, you can't.
We are the future. You can't silence me.
Try. Just try. When the call will come. And let's leave on that high note, but let's leave on an even better note. Oh, yeah.
When the rain comes down, it don't mean drown. Just grab your boots and dance around. A little mud never hurt a soul. It's how we grow, yeah, it's how we roll.
The sun's hiding, but it ain't gone. Keep your heart turned on, turned on.
Keep where joy is strong.
When whispers creep in saying you can't win,
Just shout louder, drown them out again. Turn the doubts into your fire. Every stumble builds something higher. When shadows linger, light your spark. Don't let them pull you into the dark. Keep smiling, keep shining when the storm tries to steal your song. Keep smiling, keep climbing. Tell the dark clouds they don't belong. Oh, misery won't stay where joy is strong. Oh, misery won't stay where joy is strong.
Oh, yeah. Misery won't stay where joy is strong. Folks, President Trump's administration has released their cap on the number of refugees to be admitted in fiscal year 26, which began on October 1st, 29 days ago, 30 days ago. The total is 7,500 for the planet, 7,000 which are to go to South Africans, and it says Afrikaners. However, it's not bad news. It's good news. Turn that frown around. Turn it upside down. It's good news. All right? Program continues, and the priority is for South Africans. And as we've seen tonight, there are Indians and coloreds who are being processed. If that continues, I can't state for certain, but according to this presidential determination, the applicable executive order 14204 remains in effect. Under that order, Indians and coloreds have been coming along with white South Africans, not just Afrikaners. What say you? Thanks, everybody. Be sure to hit the like button before you leave, and appreciate you joining me tonight. And so much for my early evening. That didn't happen. God bless everybody, and thanks for being here. We'll see you later tonight for Night Owls, and we'll talk about this again. All right, and many other things, and just do a little bit of chilling. God bless. Thank you all so much.